T-76 turboprops of some 715 shaft horsepower each. The aircraft came about as a result of a joint service requirement between the US Air Force, Navy and Marine Corps of the early 1960s for a light-armed reconnaissance aircraft. Very rigorous requirements they were too. It had to be a twin crew aeroplane, capable of withstanding between +8 and -3 G. It had to have sufficient takeoff and landing performance to fly from aircraft carriers, a top speed of 350 miles an hour. It had to be able to carry 2,400 pounds of cargo, or 6 paratroops or stretchers, and so forth. The winner was a design known as the North American NA-300, which became what we see here. In Vietnam, Broncos were employed as forward air control aircraft. They directed strikes by fast jet attack machines, AC-47 gunships and ground artillery. They provided post-strike damage assessment, and they escorted C-123 provider tactical transports on the so-called ranch hand defoliation missions. Seat got out, but Bennett lost his life. In total, 81 Broncos were lost in Vietnam. Much later, the US Marine Corps used its Broncos in the 1991 Gulf War, Operation Desert Storm. And they performed well, but by then the aircraft had become rather vulnerable to enemy activity. It was for that reason that the US Air Force decided not to take its Broncos to war in the Gulf. But the type carried on in service with numerous operators. For example, the US State Department's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement has civilian-operated Broncos for counter-drug missions. And as I said, an upgraded version was evaluated under a US Air Force requirement known as Combat Dragon for a light-armed warplane for potential use in Afghanistan, though no procurement resulted. And here we see another of the Bronco's attributes, its short landing abilities, being displayed as the aircraft comes in to touch down at the end of a display that really showed off the agility of this multi-purpose machine from the Bronco demo team based at Kortrijk-Wevelgem in Belgium. Tony De Bruyn with the North American OV-10B Bronco. Tony, a very enthusiastic supporter